Hi there everyone, my name is Robert Baker. I hope you are all doing great today. So a few months ago I posted a video that I was switching guitar picks after many years of using a different kind of brand. I'm not going to mention the kind that I used to use, and most of you will probably already know. But I switched to a brand of picks that are called V-Picks. So now I've had a few months to try them and test them out and make sure that these were the picks that I wanted to use. And my opinion has not changed about them. Just the tone that I've gotten from them is crazy. It's so different. And it's just dealing with the company is great. I actually called them and spoke directly to Vinny. And it's such a cool thing that what this company is doing. And what they did was they sent me a bunch of picks to try, a bunch of different picks. So what I found as a guitar player, I've always just used one kind of pick. But when they sent me these other picks, I noticed that each pick is a little bit better for something else. So maybe when I'm recording, I might use one pick for rhythm and another one for lead. And I found that these combinations were giving me a wider range of tones than what just an amp can give you. And I know a lot of people don't think of a pick having a lot to do with your tone. But it really does, You'd be surprised. You can go to a thinner pick, and you're going to have that more, sorry, this is my Euro pick that I use. This is a Euro 2. But a thinner pick is going to have a much higher, like MIDI kind of range. And then with your thick picks, you have a much darker, thicker ones are more associated, I think, with speed. But you have a much darker, fatter sound to them. So picks are a huge part of tone that, some people might kind of look around. But what I wanted to do was walk you through a bunch of these different picks that he sent me. I kind of go through my favorites. You can see sent quite a few for me to try out, and just some really cool ones, different thicknesses. This gypsy pick, which is really cool, it's a circular one. But yeah, I thought we could go through this, and I'm going to set these here for now. And the first thing that I thought was nice was when you order picks, you get a little booklet. So, and basically what he does is he explains it all, a lot of the stuff about the picks. Now, and he also talks about some of the stuff that I just talked about. And, things to think about. He says pointed picks have a brighter, more articulate sound. Rounded picks are warmer, fatter tone with more mid-range. So he's giving you an example of what you're going to be getting. And he also talks about the big point of V-Picks is you'll never drop your pick again. And I have to say that's true. And something I thought that was really cool. Look, I just dropped my pick. It only counts if it's in your hand. But that I thought was cool was this acrylic material that they use. I think it's acrylic. It sticks to your fingers. When you're holding it and your hand warms up, it sticks to your fingers. But not in the same way that some picks have like a grippy texture, like a rubbery or like a sandpaper-ish kind of feel. These are very different because I switch my pick around a lot in my hands. So that was at first a concern of mine. I was wondering, because I don't hold my pick the same way the whole time. Sometimes I palm it. When I'm sweeping, I might hold it a little bit different. But no, they really stick to your fingers, but in a way that you can easily kind of like adjust it in your hands as needed. So I thought that was really cool. So he also talks about that and what it's made out of. The tone, that's their big thing. Tone. And that's huge, I could not believe, I was recording, as I hit my guitar on the desk, I was recording with one of my old picks, just playing some rhythm, and I dropped it, and of course, when you drop a pick, it instantly disappears. So, and I grabbed a V-Pick real quick, and I noticed that my audio actually was clipping. So I was like, well, I didn't adjust the amp. It was the pick. The pick made that big of a difference in what I was recording that it started clipping the audio. So they're very loud, pronounced picks. They let you know when you're playing something wrong, and they really make you play clean. And I think that's a big part for a guitar player is, you want to be accurate at all times. So these are really great picks. So, like I said, the one I'm using right now is the Euro 2. And you can find all these picks in the book, and each pick comes with its own little description. So it describes them and also kind of compares them to some other popular brands of picks. That way, if you're using a different kind, you can kind of find in here, like, oh, this one is actually, similarly designed to this one, but now you have the new V-Pick textures and all that. So the book is really cool. I spent a lot of time going through that. Okay, so let's go ahead and walk through some of these picks. For this little part of the video, this is only going to be camera mic audio, because I do want you guys to be able to hear the pick on the strings, and I'm going to be demoing that just without even amplifying it. But also at the end of the video, there's going to be a short little song that I wrote after using these V-picks to kind of show you how, you know, picks also inspire new ideas, and just the tone of them gave me a new kind of like approach to the guitar. So the first one that I'm going to talk about here is the Euro 2. Like I said, it's very similar to the Euro 1 that I used, which I kind of demoed in the first video. But what this one is it's a bigger pick. So the first one is kind of based off of a more jazz style guitar pick. Now this is more of your traditional shape, or like medium sized pick. So right away you're going to hear it without any amplification. You know, you get a little bit of a nice little scratchy sound on there. A lot of people really like that sound to it. But when you turn the amp on, you get a really cool fat sound out of it. And I love that. And I'm very used to using heavy picks, so I just feel right at home with that one. I'm sorry you guys can't completely see my left hand, but this is all about the picks. So the next one that I wanted to talk about, I thought was really cool, because I'd never used a really sharp pointed pick before. And this one's called the Red Rocker. So this one is another, you know, fairly heavy pick. I'm not sure what, I think it's like a 1.5 millimeter, maybe a little bit thicker, maybe thinner, I'm not real sure. But, you know, it's definitely a heavier pick. Now this one has much more of a point on it than the Euro 2 did. And you'll notice you get that brighter sound out of it. So here's the Euro 2. Here's the Red Rocker. Hear how much louder it is? I mean, it's just crazy how much a pick can change. So that's the Red Rocker. It's really cool. It's definitely one, if you want a very like pronounced lead, or even rhythms, you know, you can sit there very cool pick. I find myself using this one a lot actually when I'm recording solos, because it just has that mid thing that just cuts right through the lead, and I don't know, it's just awesome. So this one, which I absolutely love, and you know, it just looks cool. It's just a cool looking pick. So nothing makes you want to play something more than when it just looks cool. So this is called the Mummy, and this one you can see he's actually cut in these grooves in here, which act as more like a grippy texture, but it makes it look like a mummy, which I love it. So again, here you can kind of hear the, definitely a very loud pick. Now this one's thicker. I'd say this one's probably about 2 millimeters. It's a lot thicker than the other ones, and I use this one a lot for rhythms now. I really like the way this But you can also clean it up and play more like kind of soft style. And you can see how easily I shifted from picking my hand to palming it. So can you guys, hopefully it's picking up that difference, but there's definitely a huge difference in sound. So that one's the Mummy. And you know, it's just a cool pick. I definitely use it on a lot of rhythms. It has such a chunk to it. And also something, if you're not used to it, using a thicker pick than what you're used to practice things can definitely make you more accurate, because you get used to kind of playing around the strings with this much thicker density pick. And when you go back to your thinner pick, like I use like a 1.5 millimeter pick most of the time, you find it a lot easier. It just seems like you have so much more room between the strings, and it really cleans up your playing. So, you know, maybe think about getting some really thick picks if you're not used to using those. They really can clean up your playing. Now the next one is one of my first favorites, and I originally thought this was going to be the pick that I liked just based off of reading about it, and I didn't end up picking this one as like my official pick that I use all the time, but it's really cool. I still love the chicken picker. So it's very nice, a very smooth texture to it, and it's a nice rounded kind of like teardrop shape. I definitely found it's called the chicken picker, and it really works well for that stuff. It has a nice little like country-ish pop tone to it. So that is the chicken picker. I definitely really like this one a lot too. But you know, it's not only for country music. It sounds just as good, kind of doing what I just did, if you're more into like the rock kind of sound of stuff, and if you want that country sound, it does great with that too. So I have two more that I'm going to talk about. Now the next one is the Switchblade. So this one is kind of like the Red Rocker, but an even more extreme point on it. It even hurts to touch that thing. That is sharp. But so again, you're gonna get that much more articulate sound out of that point of your pick. Hear how loud that is? I love it. Very cool. It's just a nice one that if you want an even more extreme kind of sound from that Red Rocker, you know, the Switchblade is definitely cool. They have another one that's called the Stiletto that I really like too. And I have that one. I won't be talking about that one today, but it's another really cool one with a pointed pick. Definitely players, you know, like Jeff Loomis and stuff like that, they use a very sharp pointed pick. He's one of my favorite guitar players. So the final one I'm going to do is their more traditional kind of take on a guitar pick. Now this is a thinner, more medium-ish pick, and since it's thinner, you get that much more like high-end kind of sound. You can hear the, and a lot of guys really go for that sound. I think Paul Gilbert uses like a medium kind of grade pick. I know Red Beach uses like a .66 or something like that. Now the medium picks are definitely not for me, but they do have a very good, you know, worth, especially on acoustic playing. I like to use a thinner pick, and you know, if you do want that scratchy sound, that kind of a thing, these are perfect for you. So. That is the traditional. So what I did was I reviewed 6 picks for you. I had to count. But these are just some of my favorite picks, you know, that I played out of a whole bunch. He gave me a bunch of them. I didn't want the video to be like an hour long, so I didn't review all of them. There's lots of other cool ones, like the jalapeno, which is, you know, it's jalapeno, but I like to say jalapeno. And there's like tons of other ones. The Farley, which I absolutely love. That's a really cool one. It's really thick. But, you know, check out all of those. And if anything, just try, you know, order a couple picks from them, and you'll get a book, or you can check out their website, which I'll put in the description of this video. But the book really just goes into detail about all their picks. Alright, well that will kind of do it for these picks. Now, if you would stay tuned, here's going to be a little song that I wrote using these picks. And, you know, maybe think about ordering some of these. They're really, really cool, and I'm telling you, I think you'll really be impressed with the tone that you get out of these picks. And then, you know, with your, like I said, with your purchase, you'll get one of these books that tell you all about all the picks. All those descriptions were really helpful for me in picking what kind of pick that I wanted to get from them. So I would highly recommend these picks. They sound great, they feel great, and they're just cool. Who does, you know, they're called V picks. That's cool. So if you guys would, you know, stay tuned. Here's the song. Thank you for watching. You can check them out at their official website. That link will be down below, and their Facebook page and all those other media sites. But here's the song. Keep rocking, guys, and I will see you next time.